Raymond Ford versus Orlando Gonzalez, 10 rounds in the 130-pound division. This is on the undercard of Boots and Chuck Hodzian. Let's get into it. Let's start with their respective records. Raymond Ford, 15 wins, 1 loss, 8 wins by way of knockout. Gonzalez, 23 wins, 3 losses, 13 wins by way of knockout. Man, Ray Savage Ford is back in the ring this weekend after losing his first fight in a close, hard-fought title fight against Nick Ball, a fight that could have went either way, in my opinion. This is his third fight this year, so Ray Ford has been busy. And every single time that he comes into the ring, it seems like he's fighting a hard, tough fight. You remember that fight with Otabek Kolmatov going wire to wire. Then he goes to fight the aggressive combination punching Nick Ball. Just been tough fights after tough fights. But if you know a little about Ray Ford's background, then you know he's built a little bit different than most fighters. He's built tough. He's built for tough moments, tough fights, right? As the big fish Earl Spence used to say, well, still says, no tune-ups, straight big fights. Ray Ford is one of those guys. He is from that type of mentality. He's no longer at 126 pounds. He's moving up to 130. This is his first fight at 130 pounds, something that he wanted to do after his fight against Otabek Kolmatov. But, you know, when money fights come up, you got to do what you got to do to make the money, right? And he took that next fight against Nick Ball, but he felt he should have moved up after the Kolmatov fight. We know the tools and skills that Raymond Ford does possess in his repertoire, right? I'm not so much worried about the physical side of things for Raymond Ford, man. He's going to do his thing, but I'm curious to see what he's going to look like with a little bit more weight on him, movement-wise, in the new division. You know, the skills is going to be there, but is it going to be as fast? He might be a little bit more explosive, but is he going to be as precise? Is he going to headhunt a little bit more? There's just questions that you have when you go up a new division because you're never really sure how it's going to play out, even if it's against an opponent that may not have the biggest name. And just to see the confidence level, man, you're never really sure how you bounce back after you take your first loss. You question yourself. You might doubt yourself a little bit. There are some questions that we're going to see what Raymond Ford possesses in this new division coming after a loss. Let's talk about Gonzalez. You know, he's fought as high as in the 140-pound division, so he's going to be the bigger guy in this fight. Ford has fought the tougher level of opposition on paper, but again, this is not 126. It's a new division, right? The most notable name on Gonzalez's resume was when he fought Robeisy Ramirez, a fight that I'm sure Gonzalez probably wants to forget because he got dominated that fight in every way possible. Robeisy, wasn't playing around that night, man. He looked really good on that night. But Gonzalez's last fight was against Jorge Castaneda, right? On a Pro Box card. Pro Box always puts together excellent shows, excellent fights. And that was an excellent fight. Castaneda is a good, solid opponent, a good, tough and gritty opponent. Gonzalez has some tricky stunts to him, man. He's got good movement, and he's versatile in some ways. Like, you're never really sure how he's going to disguise certain attacks. What he did against Castaneda, man, he put that right hand, kind of looped it through, and boom, right down the middle with that left hand. And he disguised that left hand in different ways against Castaneda that it was starting to really get through. And it seemed like anytime he put that left hand forward, he was connecting, right? Had Castaneda hurt in that first round, dropped him, put him on the canvas. But Castaneda, as tough as he is, man, he fought his way back into the fight, and he had his moments as well, too, where he had Gonzalez hurt as well, too. I felt like that was just an evenly matched fight, a fight that could have went either way, and both men have their spurts, had their moments where they were successful at. Now, defensively, sometimes in fights, man, you get away from the tactics and the game plan, and sometimes it just turns into a brawl. And sometimes it just turned into a slugfest. And that fight started to turn into a slugfest. Both men weren't trying to escape from each other. They were right in front of each other, right inside the pocket, throwing heavy punches. One man would connect, wobble the next man. The next man would counter, wobble that man. It was just a back and forth fight, exciting for us, the spectators. Probably not the best in the long run for the fighters, but it was a very good fight. Gonzalez can't come into this fight not defensively responsible against a more explosive fighter like Raymond Ford. Raymond Ford is going to make him pay if he is not careful. And towards the end of the fight, both men were really tired because they were all throwing heavy, hard punches. Gonzalez got to come in with a little bit more tactics in this fight if he wants to beat Raymond Ford. But it's going to be a good fight, man. I think it's going to be an exciting fight. So who wins? Before I give my pick on this fight, I have something real quick to share. You know, I'm always looking to bring more light, more value, more opportunities for the community. I've been working on a few different things in recent weeks to not just grow the channel, but as I said, to continue to provide as much value as I can to each of you in our community. With that being said, I got some exciting news to share. I'm happy to announce my partnership with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert. It's a great opportunity for you to join some of the best sports books to get the best odds and new user offer. All you have to do is head over to my dedicated page at signupexpert.com/the breakdown to explore a selection of sports books tailored to your region, each with its own unique offerings. So if you want to place a bet this weekend and on this fight and beyond, check out the link to find the best options for you in your region. Every sign up does support the channel, and it helps the channel grow and to expand and to create more opportunities, not just for me, but for our community. You know, I'm always looking out for you guys as best as I can. You can easily find the link in the description below this videos and videos moving forward. So get down there and check it out and find the best option for you. Now, let's get back to the video. Man, the fight with Gonzalez and Robeisy Ramirez, man, that's a fight that really sticks with me because it was kind of one of those first fights that Gonzalez was fighting a guy who was skillful, who had that level of IQ, who knew how to set up their shot, who knew how to walk them into shots, and it was not pretty at all for Gonzalez. Raymond Ford can do some of those same similar things. Like he's still, 15 fights, but he's been a champion, so he knows how to operate at that championship level, and he's still going to get better. And so it's going to be very interesting to see the game plan and the adjustment for both fighters. But I like Raymond Ford to win this fight by decision. Would not be surprised at a stoppage if Raymond Ford really presses the fact and really starts to let his hands go. But I think Ford is the more athletic, more explosive fighter and is the more calculated and probably riskful fighter. Like Raymond Ford's going to go, if he's losing, and go get the knockout, right? And get himself out of danger. So I think some of those things will play in a factor in this fight, man. But I'm looking forward to seeing this one. I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be a very exciting fight. And I think Raymond Ford will fight a smart and calculated, riskful fight. So those are my thoughts. I would love to hear from you. How do you think this one goes? Who do you have winning? Let me know in the comment section below. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this time, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.